respectful dialogue. Respect others' privacy. Avoid bluntness that come across digitally and focus on building genuine connections. You are bullying everybody. The latest thing I hear now is you just put up those stories to get traction. We can dialogue in peace. There's a certain influencer, an actress or so. In fact, I just came to respect her lately because she reacted to a post she disagreed. You know, her opinion, how will I put it? She didn't agree with that post. She disagreed with that post, but she had to voice her opinion or pen down her opinion to the person in question. But what actually attracted me and made me cut my cap was how she was able to present her point without being disrespectful. So respect others' privacy. Avoid avoid bluntness. Think about it before you put it down. And finally, my coordinator, what time do I have left?
You're still good. You still have a few minutes, ma. I would notify you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma.
Okay,
Thanks, ma.
okay.
You're well on time.
Now, thank you. Then under Poise in digital era, bridging the gap, digital presence management. I said here, intentional connectivity, platform selection, adapt your content and engagement style to each platform's norms and audience demographics. What's the demography of that space? Adapt your content. There are some spaces that I can't even survive because I don't think I'll be able to adapt my content to that space. Share knowledge, provide meaningful insight, and support others. For things that you're not familiar with, read up. Don't go engaging in a content and expose how, in quote, I don't want to say it, you are. Engage intelligently. If you know that you are not well grounded in that topic, you must not react. You mustn't. Then maintain appropriate privacy setting. That is digital presence management. Maintain appropriate privacy settings. Manage connection requests discerningly and keep personal controversies separate. Discernment is still a gift. Yes, whether you're in the faith or not in the faith, this thing I'm putting out, is it edifying? Is it okay? Something in you will tell you, you don't need to put this out there. Shut down. Don't. So for every point in time, we should know that I'm either making or destroying someone. Yes. I'm either making or destroying someone. So for every conversation I'm going to have, I'm stepping forward to have or to chat or to respond to, I should be graceful. I should be kind. I should be respectful. Does that mean I should say yes to everything that comes? No, you shouldn't say yes to everything that comes your way. No, but I must engage wisely and respectfully. So I need to see, I don't just want to be talking to myself. So when I'm talking to, anytime I talk to myself, I feel I'm talking to myself. I want to see comments because I will also want to speak based on comments. We are not just coming here to just speak. Hello, house.
Permit me, Ma, to jump in. Just also pulling up a comment that someone had also sent in about a challenge that they are facing is the challenge of responding to snide comments, which I feel you just recently touched on, being able to respond gracefully. So I believe that's an answer to for someone here. And just a reminder to the
Okay.
house, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. We will be treating it as we go along.
So we need I need to see responses. I need to engage us. So I'm going to throw a question and I want response. If you are in a crowd and hold on, I'm trying to. Okay, if you're in a group, if you're in a Zoom meeting as we are now, and maybe your camera was off. Let me ask this question. Your camera was off, or you assume it was off, and then you were just doing something that is not official based on your meeting, and you just suddenly turned and realized that your camera was on, and you had done something that is unethical or you're not supposed to do. How do you handle such situation?
Please feel free. You can unmute if you'd like
Feel
to take
free,
that. Please feel free.
unmute. Okay. What will you do if you're in that situation that your camera pops up by the time it's on, you are doing something? Okay, so Blessing says, I will apologize first to the team. Okay.
I can see Joy's hand is up. Joy Bassi, feel free to unmute, please.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Okay,
morning.
in that situation, first of all, what I will do, I'll first of all turn off the mic, the camera, then apologize, adjust myself, then put on the camera and properly appear in front of the camera.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me ask, do you think you are accountable to people when you are sharing posts? Thank you, Mr. Francis. Thank you, Bosede. Thank you. Do you think you should be accountable to people around you when you are sharing on your social media handle?
While we wait for responses to come in, I'm just seeing a few responses that have also coming from the previous questions. Most are saying they would apologize, they'll tender the apology, switch off the camera, and then someone has answered that in the chat box. Say, yes, I feel that's why I'm careful with what I post. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Blessing, for that.
Okay.
Boss
Okay,
Eddie,
so thank you.
thank you.
To me, I think so. Yes, you should. So I just threw that in to actually get us, in tune. So you're accountable. Anybody who is not accountable to someone is sitting on a time bomb. Yes. You should get someone you're accountable to. There should be a family member you're accountable to. It is not every conversation that you should engage with. So I'm going to round off by sharing few blunders that people make when it comes to poise in digital space. And that will be a take-home point. So anytime you find yourself in that space, have this point at the back of your mind. Do they align? Number one, I said oversharing. I emphasized on this earlier on, but I needed to just give us a point to go with. Give us points to go with. Oversharing personal information. Thank you, Mr. Francis. Thank you. Thank you for engaging. Thank you. Number one, oversharing personal information. Posting too much private details. Revealing sensitive personal or professional information. That's under oversharing. Number two, emotional reactivity. Responding impulsively. Provocative comments. Is a no-no. Is a blunder. Number three, inappropriate professional conduct. Unprofessional social media posts. Like I said, get somebody that you are accountable. See, there are some things for those of us that are married. I I think I wrote something some time back, and I said, if I am told, some people say, okay, the Holy Spirit told me, for those of us that are in the Christian faith, if the Holy Spirit tells me something as a spouse, and then I share it with my spouse, and my spouse says no, I don't have the liberty to share that thing. So if really the Holy Spirit, like we always say, wants me to share that thing, he will convince my spouse. That's the truth. Number 3, emotional reactivity. I mentioned that. Then poor digital etiquette. That's the blunder. Ignoring email. In fact, that one I had to work on myself. You're not ignoring. Something just happens. You're like, oh, I made a mental note, I'm going to respond, and then you're not responding. I actually had to sit down and talk to myself, then set up, structures to be able to help me address emails. Inconsistent online personality, presenting different personalities across platforms, like I said earlier, lack of authenticity. One thing that GCP Finishing School is all about is authenticity. Be your real self. I went to speak somewhere, and okay, I had other people who spoke with me, and they all spoke well. Now, my own identity, I'm someone that if I'm teaching or speaking, I find myself joking and bringing our Nigerian parlance pidgin English in it. So I got back home and I started asking myself, this pidgin I used to bring you when I'm talking, Abi, is it okay like this or is not okay? I have to be very touch now. And then I just sat and I wrote, and I just said, but you are preaching authenticity. So this is your own signature. So I'm speaking with you in English, so posh, posh, and they say, you just let me say, you can't do it like this, or you do it like this. That is my signature. And even if I'm in a global stage, which I have done before outside the country, I'll still throw it because that's my identity. That's how. So every individual has his or her identity, the way God made us. We are our authentic self. Does that mean you will not refine? You will refine, but there's still something about your originality. Then finally, the blunders that we commit: cyberbullying and lack of digital boundaries, making disrespectful comments. Okay, I just saw something here by Mr. Francis. Okay, sorry, I need to look at that.
I can help you read it out, Mar. He said, yes, I
Okay,
think so, because I have both junior and senior colleagues around me, persons I look up to, my spiritual shepherd, people I see in high esteem. So I think that's his response to if he feels he's accountable to people around him by the content he puts out. But we're just waiting for you to wrap
okay,
up because we have 2 questions that I'm sure they are just
okay.
burning to get your thoughts on as well.
Okay. Okay. So that's the summary of my little chat with you. And once again, I say welcome to GCP Finishing School. Is a movement, and I'm so grateful that you are part of me, of us in this first virtual launch and first lesson. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. But please, while we still have you, we had a question earlier on. But please, can we get a virtual round of applause in the chat box? Please, you can use the reaction. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Mr. Tolu, I'm just about coming to your question as well. Um, I'm not sure if this is a Mr. or Mrs. Pell, permit me, but Tolu says, as a pastor and on LinkedIn, I'm a data analyst. Does it mean I don't know myself, or I have to put it on my business page that I am a pastor? Please, could you kindly
No,
speak to that?
no, no. I actually said something about people that are multidimensional. So for a pastor, and so your message, I guess I can put it under decency, if that's okay. So you don't need to go to LinkedIn and say you're a pastor. No. But there is a message you carry. So I believe is a message of value and impact. So let it remain across personal platforms that you are an impact maker, you are a data analyst. Not, I made an example. I said, not here, the person is a Jesus body on the other side. So that means you have value here, and here you're not value driven. So for what I mean is you can be multidimensional, but let your umbrella, whatever is your umbrella, like me, my umbrella is value, and I'm known for value round a platform. I don't need to be a pastor here and then a pastor on LinkedIn. No, there are some people that will not even do business with you because you know what I mean. So it's value. That's what I mean. I don't even answer that question.
Yes, please. Thank you, Matt. There's a second question here, but before we even go to that, there's a poll that's gonna come up on everyone's screen. Please kindly just attend to that while we're reading the second question. So Mr. Francis says, please, how do you advise a friend who shares so many things on social media? Sometimes he always posts sense of disagreement he views. Okay, a sense of disagreement of what he views from other people that are not on the same page, and it seems rude or proud. I think that's the comments. I know you had mentioned earlier on still around this, but we'll just take that while people are responding to the poll.
Okay, please, can you read the question again?
What advice basically would you give to a friend that's always posting so many things on social media, and he always posts with a sense of disagreement from different views of other people? He does it rudely and proudly.
Okay, if I had such a friend, I will I will carefully talk to the person. Yes. Now, if I carefully, there are some people that cannot take honest criticism. So if you know that friend, can he or she take criticism? If it's someone that cannot take criticism, for me personally, if it's someone I cannot speak to, I actually unfollow the person. Because somehow you will realize that unconsciously you will find yourself in that person's shoes. So you're cringing, you're squeezing, you're like, oh, what do I do? So if I can't talk to the person, I unfollow the person seriously for my peace of mind. But if it's somebody that you know, if you speak to, he or she will take it. You go ahead. Oh, hello, sir, hello, sis, hello, brother. I know how you address yourself. Don't you think you're not just pushing your opinion to them? Don't you think you should address things like this? Or if you, okay, maybe if someone, like, there's something I'll just say, okay, what will your child do in this case? You understand? Depending on the relationship, I can tell. So if the person has children, for instance, or teenagers, you can say, what do you think your younger self would do? Or what will your older self do if he sees this? That's just the way you can paraphrase it. But first of all, it should be someone that can take criticism. So this is how I feel. Don't you think you should address things this way? Don't you think you should be quiet a bit? Don't you think if it's someone you can address that way, then you go ahead that way. But if it's not, for me, if someone I cannot address, I just quietly not follow the person for my own mental health.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so very much, Mara.
Mr.
Thank you
Francis, is
so.
that okay?
Yes, Mr. Francis, hope that answers your question. All right, I can see he's typing. He said, thanks so much. I think I will talk to him. Awesome.
But you
Awesome.
should talk to him because the truth is, it takes a community to be who we want to be. So you can actually add that value to his life or his or her life, depending on the gender.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. We have a few more minutes before we end this poll. So please, we have about 10 persons that have not submitted. Just please kindly, but for our speakers, the poll is just if someone Googled you today, what do you think they would find? If we have a few persons that say, a polished professional, but we have majority of the house saying, honestly, not so much. And that is great because you're conscious of where you currently are, but you don't have to stay there. A lot of the different tips that have come forth in this first session and will also be coming in the second session are there to help you be able to project those values that you know you carry on the inside. Thank you so much again, Ma. Please, everyone, a round of applause. Let's feel it from here. You can use the reaction. You can use the chat box. Thank you so very much, Ma. We were really, my notes is full. Like, I wish everyone could see. Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, quickly, I'll be ending the poll. And so it's just till we have the second speaker up, then I'll end the poll. So if you haven't, please take advantage. Oh, wow, I can see the love here. I hope you can see it on your side, Ma. A lot of round of
Yes, I can
applauses here.
see. Thank
Yes,
you.
Ma. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Finny, Sarami. Oh, thank you, everyone. So we'll be going quickly in the interest of time to our second speaker. Permit me again a minute while I read his profile. And for those that haven't completed the poll, please, it's on your screen. If you had gone away from Zoom, just navigate back. You'll see it there as a pop-up. Please kindly make use of it. And just as a reminder, please feel free to drop your questions. As it comes to you, please drop it in the chat box. We will treat it just like we have for the other ones that have come in. All right. Pastor Ola Omosebi is a dynamic management and development consultant, renowned public speaker, and management consultant at Creole Mosaic. His versatile expertise spans capacity building, business growth, communication strategy, and youth development. He has consulted widely for government agencies, international partners such as DFID, USAID, and the World Bank, as well as leading private organizations. Ola also serves as a board member of Youth Hub Africa, a leading advocacy and youth development NGO. A man passionate about purpose and impact, he is the author of Monday Word Charge and host of Living Ideals, where he shares practical wisdom for personal and organizational excellence. Beyond his professional influence, Ola is an ordained pastor with RCCG, leading the Lord's Place Zone in Abuja. He is joyfully married to Christy, and together they are blessed with children. Thank you so very much, sir. It's an honor to have you here. You can please have the floor. Please, let's see a round of applause. Let's see our round of applause. Thank you, everyone.
You don't clap for that, clap.
We are pumped. We are ready.
Thank you very much. Once again, I want to say big congratulations to Coach
Thank you, sir.
Triumph Adekunle.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful work you're doing. It was quite a delightsome one for me to have
Thank
met
you,
your
sir.
acquaintance, and in just one meeting we connected gracefully like that, and yes, a lot of values that we share. So grateful for this
Thank you, sir.
that you're doing for this generation, and of course for this opportunity. And
Thank you,
yes,
sir.
to be here now today, thank you very much. Thanks to your team,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Sola, MEC, and every other person behind the scene. And I want to believe the Mr. Adekunle is also somewhere there, ensuring
Yes.
that the woman is well motivated to continue in this stride.
Thank
Congratulations to GCP.
Thank you, sir.
Great culture and Poise. Yes. Beautiful work.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I don't even know where to come from, because you shared so much in just a short space of time that I just felt like, let me just continue to listen and enjoy your wisdom, and you were responding to the questions and to the comments. Let me add a few points of mine to help our participants go home with something rich. So yeah, the topic I've been given here is practical digital skills and trends. Now that's quite a huge one that ordinarily we should spend about 2 days digging into, but let's see what we can do in the next session. I'm sure this house, the participation here is quite, I'm assuming, sufficiently knowledgeable to know that things have changed so significantly that recently I was speaking with somebody, and I was asking the question, how did we survive 20 years, 30 years ago? How exactly did we survive? Because now everything is the Internet of Things, digitalization, smartphone, and so on and so forth. We grew up in a time when you would be sent, you are given transport fare, you'll be sent to find your way from Lagos to Ibadan. No GSM, no phone, no telephone, not admission, for example. I went all the way from Lagos to Ibadan by myself for the first time. My parents just trusted that, look, the much you know, the strict knowledge, and I was a teenager. I was not yet up to 20, I had not crossed. And I went all the way to Ibadan, to University of Ibadan, to, with a note in my hand. Somebody had given me a note to give to his aunt, in this and that faculty, works in this capacity. Give her this note, she would attend to you and all that. That's all I went with. The aunt had not received a prior phone call because, how many people had telephones in their homes or in their offices those days? She had not received a prior phone call. She had not received a prior, letter posted through the post office. All she was getting for the first time, in relation to the request, was the note I took in my hand to her office. Where to locate her? Where's the Faculty of Arts? Located Faculty of Arts. Where's the Department of Theatre Arts? Located Department of Theatre Arts. In fact, realizing that Department of Theatre Arts is far away from Faculty of Arts, and then locating this woman and handling her, the note is from XYZ person, and this and that person. And then she reads it and welcomes me and takes me on from that moment like a son, based on what she read. I'm saying this especially for the Gen Zs that we will not be able to connect and relate with how we lived, how we existed, how we were able to cope with life. And life was livable. We lived our lives, we moved on, we accomplished things, we traveled everywhere, even outside the country, without mobile phones. But now that we have become used to mobile phones, to smartphones, to the internet, to the digital age for decades now, I can't come to terms with how were we able to survive when we didn't have these things. So that's the introduction to my talk, to my session. Please, Ms. Busola, kindly notify me of my time. Let me know how much time I have, and you can send that to me privately. So this brings me to this talk. How are we doing so far? Yes, we are all on social media. The reason why we're having this meeting now virtually is because we have social media platforms. We have the Zoom, we have our Facebook, LinkedIn, and the rest. We have digital tools in our hands, as it were. So much so that they are even fluid. Apart from the devices, every other thing that comes through the device are all invisible, are all fluid, are all, intangible, as it were. You can't grasp them. So, speaking to this topic, I'd like to, so please get used to me. I like alliterations a lot, so that it helps to stick the thoughts and the lessons that we will pick on. By the way, I always come to every talk with a mindset of learning and sharing. So I don't want to talk down at anybody. I want to share what I know, and I also want to learn as much as I can learn. In addition, let me also plead with participants, as much as we've been doing so well, so far so good. Please, there will be quite a number of things that will be shared, that's been shared, and that will be shared that you already are familiar with. But please don't approach any knowledge with familiarity, because you can learn what you've learned to either establish or to be better grounded in what you've known. But equally, there will be things you've not heard before. Also open your mind to pick up those new pieces of knowledge, to build up your skills, to build up your capacity in order to move better in life, as it were. Now, for me, the first set of things you must pay attention to, the foundation of engaging with digital skills, minimum of 4 P's that you must pay attention to. The first one is your person. Who are you? Because you see, nothing is as good as, just like Coach Triumph shared earlier, nothing is as good as sticking to your originality. I'll talk to that later on. So your person, who are you? That is the foundation. Time will fail me to talk about your person, your personality type, and all that. That is a whole talk of a whole day in itself. But your person is your first equity, your first capital that you are bringing on to the digital space for you to acquire digital skills, for you to harness digital skills, for you to be able to maneuver your way through the trends that are existing and that you also want to be part of. So your person, who am I? The big question, who am I, is a very critical question to everything else. Number 2, what is the purpose for you engaging a digital space and wanting to acquire digital skills. So you'll see that these days there is a mixture of, the major driving force for quite a number of Gen Zs now is that they want to make money. It's the commercialization of the digital space that is so much in their mind. But as much as that is not bad, but I think that shouldn't be your first definition of why you want to engage. So define your purpose in relation to the digital space. Why do you want to go there? Now we're talking about Pastor Jerize. Pastor Jerize didn't go on YouTube to make money, and I stand not to be corrected. His intent was not to go and make money. His intent was to be able to reach out to a wide audience of people beyond his church. I've known Pastor Jerize for many years, long before a lot of people came to him, long before Kamiki's word, before it blew. In fact, even before it blew, he had blown because he had had a large following. He had been traveling out to minister in other countries. But a lot of people who now know him did not know him then. That was before COVID, before the year 2020. But he had been there. I'd been to his church in Umuahia. I'd been engaging with him in the days of BBM, BlackBerry Messenger. I'd always enjoyed his Streams of Joy devotional that he sends every day. He had been there. But then he goes into the social media space. That was not his first time, but he did something different in the age of the lockdown, and then boom, he went all over the world. He became a phenomenon that today is still growing phenomenon, so much so. I still read up earlier on that his current worth grossing from YouTube alone is over 10 billion naira in value, about 7 million naira daily. That's amazing. But I tell you, like I said earlier, I stand not to be corrected. I tell you, he did not go in there for the sake of making money. He went in there to broaden to give opportunity to his audience, to his own followers, and maybe apologies, to be able to gain audience, be able to do what he knows how to do best, do the prayers, daily prayers, and all that. And now it's already history to the glory of God. So just using that as an example. So define your purpose for engaging the digital space. Very important. Number 3 is that you need to be clear about your publics. Coach Tran also mentioned this earlier on. Who are your publics? Who are the people that you really want to engage with? Now, thankfully, some of the social media platforms, once you are signing up, they would even ask you. They will ask you certain things. What are your interests? What group of people? What kind of things? But not every social media platform does that. And even if they do that, if you are not clear about your own publics, you might end up selecting, random, people just select anything. What are the interests? X will ask you, the former Twitter ask you interest. So that based on what you select is what you are likely to be seeing in the feeds, in the news feeds, and what you probably also want to engage in. All right, so be clear about your publics. And then the 4th P is your plan. Yes, not many people are intentional about engaging the social media space, particularly the digital space as a whole. Not many people are very intentional about how they go about it, but there must be a plan. And yes, your plan should be subject to review. You can always review every now and then. Take, for example, when I say plan, you probably have the kinds of things you want to push out on a Monday. You have the kinds of content you want to push out on a Tuesday, and so on and so forth. Maybe not everything is the same. For some people, you probably want to push out the same kind of things. It's also fine. But just have a plan. It's all dependent on your person, your purpose for engaging that digital space, your publics, that's the people you want to, in corporate communications, talk about your publics, referring to the audience, your target audience, and then, of course, your plan. Now, that is the first layer of what you should have at the back of your mind. Engaging the social media space, engaging the digital space as a whole, the Internet of Things. Now, the other ones you also need to think about is your eyes. What are your interests? Number 1, your interests. So let what you be doing also be driven by your interests. What things are you interested in? Some people are hugely, massively interested in entertainment, arts and entertainment. So they will easily gravitate towards anything that has to do with music icons, celebrities, and all that. But then some people still narrow it down to say, okay, even in the space of entertainment, I want to relate with, I want to deal with the stories around the celebrities. Some people are focused about the stories of their lives because those ones who are putting out the stories of their lives there, which is one of the things Coach has spoken about earlier on. Do you want to put out your personal affairs? Of your personal affairs, how much of your personal affairs should you put out? You want to speak about your children, must you speak about your children? I mean, all of those are dependent on you. Some things, some actions you may take now may seem to be giving you a lot of buzz, a lot of, following, but may not end up being good. You need to think about the repercussions, the implications, the consequences of your actions. You want to talk about your son, your daughter now. Are you sure later somebody won't ride on what you have spoken, what you have put out there about your sons, your daughters, to harm you, to hurt you, to speak against you, and so on and so forth? So these things are also important. So what are your interests? Number two, what is your intent? Or if you like, what is your intention per action? So you may have a general umbrella intention of wanting to engage the digital space, but then you might still have specific intentions per time, per action. So this particular engagement, this particular content I want to push out on, this is my intention. I want to get people to follow. I want them to learn something new. I want to do this, I want to do that. Intention. And intention, every intention must be backed up by intentionality. There are two different things. Intention and intentionality are not the same. You can have good intentions, but the intentionality is what you use, the vehicle you use in driving that intention. So I said, first I is interest. What are your interests? Second I is intent, or if you like, intention, which should be well managed by your intentionality. Intentionality. And then the third one is innovation. What innovations can you bring on the table in your own space, in your own engagement? What innovations can you bring in to stand out, to be seen, to be heard, to be known? What will make you different? Take, for example, and let me quickly mention this before I continue. When we talk about, engaging, digital skills and all that, so many times we try to define our results by the following or by the number of reactions and likes that we get. But many times that may be wrong. At times, some of your dividends, some of the results that you are going to get may not even be based on those likes. You might have 2 likes, you may even have no likes, and yet somebody is happy with what you have written and is ready to engage you. For example, it's a sale, something you want to sell and close a deal. It may not be everybody that will jump on it to say, I'm interested in that piece of land, or I'm interested in that card that you have posted. And yet somebody might just reach out to you. It may even be somebody who has never interacted with you physically by way of reactions. And yet the person reaches out and says, I'm interested in what you want to sell. I want to buy that right away. And then they buy, and they buy you out. So again, these are some of the areas where we might get it wrong. I agree with the general knowledge that yes, following is a lot of resource, a lot of feedback, accounts for a lot. But at the same time, we should not get carried away by the number of likes, the number of reactions, the number of following that we get. It might just be that you push out a content there that you need 1 or 2 people to respond to you privately, and they do, and you're good. And yet there are not so many content. And I'll share this, and I'm speaking based on experience. This should be, if I'm correct, this should be 2020. Sorry, 2021, not 2020. 2020 was totally lovely. 2021, am I mixing it up? I think it was before 2020. This was before 2020. Yes, this was before 2020. Long before 2020, maybe 2018. All right. So I was doing those days. I was doing what I call living ideas. It's short video, short vlogs. Short videos, less than 3 minutes or less, and then I'll push them out. Motivational content, push them out every Friday. Every Friday evening, push it out. on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook, WhatsApp. WhatsApp is usually where I get the most, responses, because I have groups and groups of people in different broadcast groups, in thousands of them, so I get quite a number of. But Facebook, at times you go there and push out a video, you probably see 10 likes, probably see 20 likes. At times you see 50. At times, when it's up to 70, wow, But for a long time I was doing that. On a particular day, somebody reached out, somebody that commented not once, not even a like. I don't even think we're friends on Facebook, but on WhatsApp, he gets this broadcast, And so he reached out to me and said, "Hey, where are you?" And then we spoke. He said, "It's been a while." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Please, I see your works. Can you come moderate a 2-day strategy session for us?" I said, "Well, that's what I do. I'm glad to do it." To cut the long story short, we sealed the deal. I did it for 7 figures, so let me just put it mildly like that. What was paid was in 7 figures for a 2-day strategy session that I didn't have to procure anything. They were the ones that provided their venue, they provided all their materials. We had 3 tea breaks, lunch. I even had a co-facilitator who also facilitated with me. It was even like a drag, like, are you going to take the whole of the time? So it was as if I was even paid to come and enjoy myself, enjoy doing what I like to do, speak, for a living. This was probably 2018 or 2017, And then I have quite a number of such, experiences that, also were spin-offs from the engagement I was having, just leisurely at my own, of course, churning out good content. If I rate myself, yeah, because again, that's another thing that must define what you do. Are you churning out good content? What kind of thing are you churning out? So let me start wrapping it up because I know I'm seeing a signal already. So now I said I would talk a bit on originality. Yes, there's a caveat when we speak to originality, when we want to bring our originality to the fore to engage in the digital space. Originality should not be confused for stupidity at any point in time. Should not be confused for artificiality. Should not be confused for anyhowness, what I call anyhowness. No. Because you see, every original usually comes as raw. And any raw you don't refine will commit you to churn out rubbish. That's the truth. So you need to be very intentional about the fact that even while you're saying this is me, this is my true self, you need to understand that you must process your raw, refine your raw to become a good resource, or else what you'll be giving out is rubbish at the end of the day. So that is very important because I see quite a number of Gen Zs that just go online and do whatever it is they want to do. Wake up and, just start doing something, bare belly, dancing, twerking, say this is just my originality. And like the coach said earlier, you are representing too many things. In fact, let me say to you that many people have lost job opportunities, relationship opportunities, business opportunities without knowing, because your prospective client or employer would have just gone to your social media platforms and checked you out and said, "No, you can't take this person." And you're not even aware, you're just hanging out about the place and you keep still pushing out. They've seen how you were very rude. You went all over the social media space, joining to insult the president and call the president names. Look, you can disagree with the person. Nobody's saying that you must love the president. Saying that you must fan the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You can disagree with him all you want, but you can disagree nicely. Put out your points there. I mean, in the days of President Goodluck Jonathan, I disagree with a number of his policies. Yet I worked for the administration. There were certain projects I handled during the administration. I was one of the trainers of UWIN. There was Gen Zs will probably not be familiar. There was a UWIN program that was designed under the Federal Ministry of Finance and supported by the World Bank and the UK Aid, to support business startups and existing businesses. And I was one of the national trainers who went from state to state, region to region, training business owners. It was one of the most fantastic initiatives that have been developed in this nation that helped a lot of businesses. And I was one of the trainers. But then I had my disagreements with some of the policies and some of the actions of the president. And there was a way I'll put it out there on my social media platforms, such that if you come to engage, you see that I was putting out logical, intellectual dialogues to engage intellectuals. And some of us intellectuals will engage and we'll discuss back and forth. Okay, what other options do you have? What are the suggestions? And then we did that. And others I needed to loud, I would loud. But I'm not saying I'm elastic. I'm just saying that there are ways you engage without necessarily becoming an offense, becoming an item of insult to yourself without even realizing it. Unfortunately, this age, the Gen Zs are the ones that want to be traumatized over what they posted. They are traumatized, they feel abused, they feel everything. You are the one that posted. People came to comment. Now you are traumatized. Now you want to take your life. Now you want to commit suicide. It's an unthinkable phenomenon. All right, so I think because of time, I think I need to take a pause here, and then probably from the comments and reactions, we'll be able to respond to.
You're
Yes,
having
yes,
mental
like
issues.
always having so like
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Can we feel the love with the round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. A lot of nuggets. When you said process your raw, you end up giving out rubbish. I say, aha.
Rubbish. That is
This
that is
this is it. This is it. And
that's
just
Rema.
also coming on the backs of that, we had a question that had even come in before this session that I feel might just be timely. Let me just pull that up. The person said, I once made a small blunder in a group chat. Most likely this was when the person was still processing their raw and it blew up. Now I'm anxious about posting. How do you also handle rude or snide comments? I know coach has spoken to answering graciously, but this just buttresses the point that these are the real realities that we see out there. Maybe if you just want to in a minute encourage this person or speak to this particular, how does the person overcome coming out of that raw side to now still work towards being a polished version?
Thank you very much. Beautiful question. Yes, but I don't think, again, I stand to be corrected. I don't think there's any of us who have been engaging the digital space for a long time that has not made blunders, that have not
Yeah.
said something that was wrong at one time or the other, that has not posted what ought not to have been posted. But you see, it is how you manage it. So you need to weigh the situation where is this something that can easily be swept under the carpet, that can be overtaken by new events that may be happening in that group. If it's something that needs to be kept silent, or you might need to gauge, through the lenses of one or two other people. What do you think? Should I still talk about this thing? Or else, what you do on the other side is to apologize for it. If it's something you need to apologize outrightly. And then if it's something, the third one is that if it's something you need to make clarifications, maybe the choice of words. Oh, sorry, this word, maybe if I'd used this word, then you'd have understood me better and all that. But then, if it's not a necessary apology, I mean, there are some unnecessary defense. If you are wrong, you're wrong. Admit it, I am wrong. But like I said, two approaches to dealing with the wrong is either something that you think, the breeze will blow over it, and then after some time, people will just let it go, or it's something you need to actually apologize for. Then go ahead and apologize. Let it be on record that you actually tendered an apology for it. Or the third one is if it's a clarification that needs to be made, and where you probably need to embellish your point with one or two references. No, this is not what I meant. This is what I meant is in relation to this, to that, and then you embellish, you put it there. So look at those three approaches. Either you let it slide, or you apologize and don't even try and make any defense, depending on what it is. Or third, you make clarifications. This is what I meant. This is what I meant. It was taken out of context and all that, and you leave it there, and then it goes. So that for me is how you treat that without stretching it too much. But
Oh,
if the other coach wants to also ride on that, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad
okay.
to share.
Okay, so I actually have a question I'm about to throw to Coach. Then I would also bring it back to you. It came in just last night. In fact, I think the person maybe was up thinking about it and decided to pen it down. It says social media feels like everyone is ahead of me. I think is the honesty in this. It says sometimes it feels on social media like everyone is ahead of me. I'm trying to build my brand and sometimes I feel invisible. And honestly, okay, I think this is what the person meant to say. And honestly, sometimes it feels I'm living fake just to keep up. So this was under comments of what they intend to take away from the session, not necessarily a question. Maybe we'll just have Coach speak to this in a minute. I know we are mindful of time, but if we can get you on this in a minute.
Okay, I feel you. Trust me, I'm giving you a hug where I am. Social media is not the real world. Now, let me tell you the day I got set free many years ago. There's a particular person I used to follow on social media, and I was like, hey, this person is just doing great. Oh, me, I'm just there. I'm just struggling. And then somehow I ran into this person in real world. And when I saw the person, I said, wait, oh, we kept talking. Yes, I'm not there yet, but the person was empty. And oh God, then most of the things she used to put up there were rented. So she comes and she'll tell you, I wrote the book and I just sold 50,000 copies. And I'm like, hey, me that I wrote since I've not even sold one. Only for her to say, babes, those things are packaging. So when you speak those things, you just package, and I'm like, oh, really? And then I'm a faith person, so sorry, I'm going to see bring in faith. And then one day I was having a conversation with the Holy Spirit, and He said, "See, I've called you to the audience of one. When once that audience of one is met or is touched or impacted, you are good. Because at the end of the day, what matters most is what I've called you to do. So, my darling, keep doing what you are doing. You are doing very well. You are doing very well. And you will be shocked at the way you think you are not doing well, but you'll be shocked at how people are envying you. So that is why authenticity can never be overemphasized. This is my brand. This is what I'm pushing. Some people out there just want to see. I know I said something one day. Do you know what it takes to set up ring lights? So if people can set up ring lights to do, you should know that they will go to any length. They're trying to put up a front that is not real. 99%. I'm telling you. And also, there are also people, I shared this somewhere. I had a client who wanted me to style her. You know, I style. And then she reached out to me and she said, do you know why I reached out to you? I went to your social media page and I observed that you don't post people. And I was like, I don't understand. I said, so there are still people who don't want to be out there. Style me quietly and let me just do. And the person paid very well, very well. So, my darling, keep doing what you are doing. You are serving the audience of one. You are doing well. Social media is not, I say it, and I would not, according to Pastor Ola, I don't want to be corrected. I stand not to be corrected. It's not the real world. People put up what they want you to see. They have sold 10 products. They may not have even sold for the week. Is what they want you to see that you will see. So be yourself, be your authentic self. That is not, I'm not preaching laziness. Push in the work, do the work. When once your conscience is satisfied, even the Holy Book says, after you have done all, you stand. When you have sat down, say, I know I've put in the work. Beat your chest. You are doing well. You are doing very well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much, Ma. I think there was also a question about prioritizing wrong content, but I also think Pastor Ola had spoken to that earlier on. So I know we one as
But I
our.
want, sorry, Sola. I
Yes.
want Pasola to speak to that other comment too.
Okay. So we are coming back
that
to
question.
you for your input on that question. And just to crave everyone's indulgence, we'll be rounding up soon. We know we started just 5 minutes in, so we claim 5 minutes into our time. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll take your response to that question, sir, and maybe your closing thoughts before we come back to Coach.
Okay, so yes, I mean, I'm 100% with Coach T on that. Stick to your originality, your authenticity. Don't get bashed by what you are seeing. But at the same time, review your approach, review what you are doing. Peradventure, you need to tweak what you are doing. You need to use different approaches. Maybe you post at the wrong time. Maybe there's a way you even write, what you need, what you are posting, and you need to change the language. Maybe you need, I mean, so it's always good to review. At times you might need to, there was a time I needed to do like a live event, and then I posted to Facebook, posted to YouTube simultaneously. I brought in two renowned guests, who joined me at that particular, what's it called, the particular live event. Lasted for about 1.5 hours or so. And then people joined from all over the world and all that. And then after they were asking, when next are you going to do this? When next are you going to do that? So at times you just need to tweak your approach to what you are doing, tweak the way you push out what you are pushing out. You don't want to tag everybody. Coach mentioned that earlier. I see myself being tagged with 99 other people at times in a post that I don't know exactly why I'm being tagged. So you don't want to tag people anyhow. Some years ago, I was also tagging people like that, people that I felt should jump into that conversation. At that time, I used to have a lot of conversations around the governance, how the polity was being managed. The government should look at this, should look at that. So I dragged some people in. And there was somebody that messaged me, inboxed me to say, please, I would like to be tagged. I like what you're doing. I'm happy for you. And then that was Dr. Joaba. For those who know Dr. Joaba, he's quite a senior citizen of some sort. So he had to respectfully reach out to me. I look up to him as a mentor. But I thought, he would be happy with, being part of all those conversations. But he reached out to me to say, I wouldn't like to be, every time you're tagging me in this, and immediately, it dawned on me that this may be applicable to several other people. So I won't stop tagging generally, you know, except, much later that I tag specific people that I know that are interested in that particular, content. I tag them and I leave it at as much as that, So I think the way you also engage the digital space should is something you can review to ask yourself, am I engaging correctly? Do I have the right audience? Am I using the right language? And so on and so forth. I've seen people who post pictures, they want to sell a product, but they are not even giving attention to how well they want that product to be emphasized or to be amplified without being fake. So you just take one random picture that does not really bring out the picture of the product and you push it out there. People will not take you seriously.
Yeah.
So review your approach to engaging the digital space. Very important. Sorry, let me also say this in relation to a response Coach had given earlier on. There's an old saying that if you cannot change the people, change the people. So if there are people you have in your space, like somebody asked that question earlier about somebody always posting offensive things or something like that, being rude and all that. If you try to talk to them and they are not shifting grounds, they can't see differently, then you probably have to sever up that relationship.
Exactly.
Because again,
Yeah.
it's the kind of people, yes, ma'am, the kind of people around you that will also tell us the kind of person you are. I mean, it's old knowledge. Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. If somebody sends me friend requests, I have the opportunity to check it and see that on your timeline, or what's it called, on your own space, what you're posting are nude stuff and all that. Or you are not even careful enough to manage your space such that people tag you on all kinds of rubbish. Tag you on, this girl just exposed herself now. Come and see what this girl did. See her open. Those kind of things. You are not even carefully managing your own space. If you are somebody who does not manage your space well, I won't admit you as a friend. Because it means that I can easily get corrupt vibes of things that come to your own space too. So you need to also take that as I've taken that as a principle of life for many years. You can't change the people, change the people. It means we don't belong together. If I try to influence you positively and you are not making any effort, you are not saying things, we don't share, but you may not have the exact value, but we must share some level of values. We don't share values, then we would have to separate, go our different ways. Thank you, Ms. Busola, for granting me that additional time.
It
There's
was
a lot to always share.
definitely worth it for the nugget. If you can't change the people, change the people. In fact, that was what
Change
I was
the
writing
people.
down.
I just like I say here.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And so, Ma, we will just also come back to you for closing thoughts, and then we'll wrap up in 2 minutes.
Closing thoughts. Remember, for everything you put out there are consequences, good or bad. For everything you put out there are consequences. So when you're putting out those things, ask yourself, am I ready to bear or face the consequence? If you're not ready, then pull back. With this, you will thrive and do very well. Thank you.
Wow. Like for everything you put out there, like are you ready to face the consequences? That's because you're right. And one of the things that from our private conversation, Mother, you also accept that the online space is always there. Yes, you might delete from somewhere, but someone has taken a screenshot and it travels fast.
Yes.
So ask
Yeah.
yourself, oh, before you put it out there, am I ready to face the consequence? Or like Pastor Ola shared, is this a good representation of my values? Is it in alignment with what I truly believe as well? Wow. What every minute, if I might say. Can we get a round of applause from the house? Thank you so much, all those engaging. I know we didn't have the opportunity to take all the questions we have, but thank you so much. Abiodun, thank you, Francis. Oh, someone says, what an insightful meeting. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm so glad it was worth each and everyone's time. Like we said earlier on, this is just, in fact, we did not even scratch the surface. This is just the tip of the iceberg. One way that would also be giving out value in the coming days is through the newsletters that will be going out with a recap of the session with nuggets that we've picked and also graphics. So once you see them, engage with them. It's also great that oh, thank you, Vida. Oh, I can see a few people. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much to both of our speakers. For as many as on the call. Someone said, in fact, I thought Pastor Ola has not started. Oh wow, you will get to get a lot more of the insights. Please check your emails and the recording would also be hosted and the link would be shared in the coming days. One way to stay engaged with GCP going forward. We have your emails, you see them. We'll not load you with emails maybe once a week, once in 2 weeks, with some of the nuggets and tips that we'll be sharing from different spaces, not just on digital space, but outside in your everyday lives, work, relationship, and life. Yes. Also, be on the lookout for a few of our programs that will be coming. We'll be having one of this. We try to keep it short and impactful as always. Whenever we have a program coming up, we would notify you. So if you're available, please kindly join in. But most importantly, this is the secret of the house. We have a mini boot camp coming. Can I see the excitement? Because today we're only able to touch on digital presence. It's gonna span the 6 pillars of our values here at GCP School, and I can't wait for each and every one of you to begin to interact with it. It covers every 360 human being, how to position yourself as a person of grace, culture, and poise. So please be on the lookout with your emails. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you all for staying till this time, and thank you for the permission to eat into your Independence Day. It was a lovely time well spent with you. Thank you to our speakers. Can we have a round of applause as we lastly, before we have everyone go, is a culture we're trying to build here. Could we kindly ask that if you can please turn on your video so we can take a snapshot of the house? Yes, please. I'm glad I did not forget that. A snapshot of the house. So we can look back, and when we put out there, say, yes, I remember them before they blew. I was in their first ever session. Yes. So when we are giving out, yes, so yes, Pastor. So once we haven't given out certificates, I say, yes, didn't you see my face there? I was in the first ever session. I qualified for a certificate from GCP school because that's where we are going to. That organizations say,
Yes,
oh,
yes,
have
yes,
you
yes,
taken
yes.
any training from GCP school? Things like that. So yes,